Once again, it's time to bring in my colleague and social media reporter, Mariama. Take it away again, Mariama.
Well, thanks, Shaka. In February, President Yoweri Museveni extended his 30-year grip on power in Uganda, despite a massive outcry from the opposition and some in the international community. Opposition leader Kizza Besigye, who's here today, we're happy to host him, and who's had countless arrests, insists he won the presidential election. According to the country's official results, Museveni won with over 60% of the votes. A country that doesn't have term limits does have age limit, and Museveni, who's 71 right now, would technically not be qualified to run again in 2021. But that's a long way, and so much can happen between now and then. This leads us to our question of the week, which asks, what can be done to ensure that democratic principles are being upheld in Uganda? Well, starting off the conversation is one of our followers in Nigeria in our letter of the week. Yahya Ahmed Gumel from Jigawa in Nigeria writes, democratic principles can only be upheld in Uganda when Ugandans fully understand and take the ownership of their struggle for free and fair elections, good governance, and the rule of law. Ugandan civil society and democratic institutions should collaborate to rescue the nation from the firm grip from political demagogues whose words are never met with actions. Well, that was Yahya Ahmed Gumel in Jigawa, Nigeria. Thanks again, everyone, for using all our social media platform to communicate to us. Before we move on to more comments, just a quick reminder that we are tweeting live today. Just use the hashtag Uganda Democracy. And if you haven't yet, do follow us on Twitter. Speaking of it, let's go to a tweet from Edgar Kawa, who writes, most likely, the independent, in quotes, he put, electoral commission will select for them, as it is usually the case in most African countries. Well, another tweet, this time from Emmanuel Kachele, points out that democratic principles in Uganda can only be upheld if Ugandans say no to dateless presidencies and nepotism. One final tweet from Peter Isaac says that better management of elections observers from United Nations and also country constitution be followed. Well, now to a comment from a Facebook follower this time. His name is Mani Alcado Kasi from Panda, Tanzania, who writes, when I see Africa, I see no hope for democracy and tranquility. The only way to ensure the implementation of democratic principles in Uganda is to be democratic. And that is the thing Africa and its incumbent leaders will not take into consideration. Voters are becoming poorer, and the relatives of leaders are increasingly sharing the national cake.